For many Jedi, the Clone Wars were controlled chaos, a galaxy that could not get rid of its lesser half. The Republic needed to quell the Separatist threat, and to do that, Jedi generals were sent all across the galaxy, and this specific story sends us to wild space to the planet Reda, where a general is asking Confederacy droids if they had found something, but for the commander droid this was a waste of time because this jungle was practically uninhabited and there was no essential life. The general did not quit. They needed to keep looking for the secret of Reda. It must be theirs, and this was a command directly from Count Dooku. And with that, General Flebeck was out. Without having any other recourse, the droids continued their search, and all of a sudden they came upon something mysterious, and that was a Jedi lightsaber, as Anakin Skywalker was right in front of them. As without a warning, he sliced through the droids without a moment's thought, and to top it off, right behind him was Master Yoda, who Anakin was not aware that he had joined him on this mission. In fact, it was Master Windu who had sent Anakin to this solo mission. Separately though, Yoda had sensed a presence he had not sensed in a long time. He asked Anakin if he had found out why the Separatists were in this wild space, but Anakin had not found that out yet. Flebeck and the droids were just looking for some kind of a secret, but there was nothing in this place as it was deserted. As Anakin was saying that, a huge boulder rock was flinged at them. If this didn't make it clear, now it was. The place was not uninhabited. In fact, something dangerous was lurking in the shadows. Yoda realized that this might have been a warning, and they needed not to use their eyes, but they needed to use the Force. Both of them were concentrating, and all of a sudden they discovered a presence that was hidden, and once Anakin found this individual, he used the Force to push them and grab them midair. Anakin asked who are they, but they did not mean them harm, and that huge rock was just a warning shot to scare both of them away. And to make matters even weirder, Yoda knew this person as Krita, the last of the Sagredo. Krita is an old friend of Yoda's, but Anakin was weirded out that Yoda has a friend who can become invisible on command. But Krita told Anakin that it's a matter of perception. You see, the Sagredo could manipulate the minds of others so they can't see them. Think of it as psychic camouflage. Anakin was delighted. They had found an advantage to the Separatists, and this was amazing. They needed to come with them to Coruscant. Krita would make the perfect spy with the invisibility cloak, but it was not to be so, as Krita became invisible again and disappeared in a moment's notice, as Anakin has obviously said the wrong thing. And sadly, there were more troops coming in. Anakin ignited his lightsaber and went straight for the attack. But he could not help but plead with Yoda to go and convince Krita to come back and join them. Now he realized that Yoda was already gone. Walking among the jungle, Yoda saw a child playing around, but again the child was picked up by somebody and became invisible, same as Krita. Now Yoda was becoming more agitated as he went to learn for the truth and what Krita is up to. He suddenly realized the truth, and that seemed to stun him. As Anakin was done with the droids, now he went searching for Yoda, and he found him on a plain field with trees surrounding him, beautiful sunshine, and Yoda was just meditating. Anakin asked Yoda what is he doing there all by himself, but was Yoda by himself really? In fact, we realized that he isn't by himself. There's an abundance of other species of characters that Krita was protecting with her invisibility. Now she explained herself why she can't leave. These people came to her to escape the war, and she had been shielding them for years now. To make matters worse, now the Confederacy were creeping into their secret camp together with their general. But Anakin, well, he had devised a plan, and his plan was, as always, aggressive negotiations. As General Flebeck was after Anakin, Yoda, using the invisible ability of Krita, went around the droids and the Confederacy general, slashed a tree with his lightsaber, and destroyed the last droid, with the general being left all by his lonesome. With that, his mission was aborted, and this planet was forever left alone thanks to General Skywalker and General Yoda. In the end, Anakin was pondering what he's gonna tell Master Windu when he goes back, and Yoda told him to tell Windu the truth, that there was nothing to see on Reda. there is nothing at all. This comic is not only cool to see about an invisible ability, as Creed has said, psychic camouflage, that's the cool part about it, but the thing to learn here in this comic, as in some episodes of the Clone Wars, is that there were factions and peoples that did not want to participate in the war. They were afraid for their lives and they sought refuge wherever they could. This shows that even some people who knew the Jedi were for the greater good, they still could not trust in their abilities to protect them. Creed knew Yoda and his peaceful ways, but did not want to partake with Yoda in this war. For those wondering, this comic not only is a canon, but it is one of the most unique comic series I've seen, which is called Star Wars Adventures. This one in particular was issue number 20, and last week we covered one with Jar Jar and Padme in this same scenario, a crazy adventure in that time period. For those who missed it, here's a short recap. And they were now nearing a bridge at the top, but Jar Jar was still very wary of this bridge, and his word came to be true, as this bridge was very weak and they barely could make it to the other side with, again, Padme's help, as Jar Jar was just a clumsy, bumbling fool, and without Padme, of course, and this story would not end up as it did. While Jar Jar was stumbling around, Padme, with her grappling gun, got to the other side without any problems. Now, seemingly, they were very close to their destination. They had approached a cave in which this relic should be inside, and unfortunately for our times that we are living in right now with the virus and everything, it is not a pretty sight to see that inside there are bats and Jar Jar grabs a hold of a bat and eats it. Naturally, Padme is horrified, but if she lived on Earth and knew what consequences eating a bat would bring, she would be even more horrified. But nonetheless, they journeyed down the cave more and more. Some parts of the journey Padme was not amused of, and finally they came upon an old ruin inside a cave, with mystical symbols surrounding it. An old Gungan statue. This resembled an archaeological ruin of Gungan origin, and inside there was this relic waiting right in front of them in the center of this pyramid. Padme did not suspect danger until she picked up the relic. A monster was approaching, and it was a Gundark, the apex predator that would hunt down Gungans for food. Jar Jar went mad with fear, but this in fact ended up helping them, as Jar Jar's loud screams did so much damage to the Gundark to his ears that he finally collapsed in pain. While Padme did help her way around Naboo, in the end it was Jar Jar who became the hero in defeating the Gundark. Both of them, however, were disappointed to find out that this old relic of the Gungans was actually food for Boss Nass. It was a delicacy, an old delicacy that had been lost to tradition, and tasting it for another time after so many years, Boss Nass instructed Jar Jar to go find another one of these and bring it to his king, which left Jar Jar enraged. It's a very gray area to say the least, but talk to me down below. Tell me, what do you guys think as well? Thank you guys so much for watching this video though, and if you enjoyed, leave a thumbs up down below, subscribe for dailies. Now you have an awesome day, Star Wars fans. I'll see you in the next video, and may the Force be with you until then.